All right, let's get started, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our Salesforce Lightning webinar. What is it, and are you ready for it? A little bit about myself. My name is Paul. I work here at Simplus. Going into that, I'd love to just kind of show you an overview of what we'll be going over today, some of our goals, and a quick look at our agenda. So by the time this webinar is done, we should know what Lightning Experience is, understand some of the changes that Lightning Experience will bring, and determine if Lightning Experience is right for your business. Again, just as a quick look at the agenda for today, we have our introduction. It should be fairly short. And then we'll have a quick rundown of what Lightning Experience is as an overview, and then how to actually enable Lightning Experience. And we'll look at, what's next in what's new in Lightning, and then determining if Lightning is for you. We will close today out with a quick Q&A session. With that being said, if anyone would like to ask questions, feel free to during the event through the Q&A app. If it's currently not enabled, if you see the showcase section on the right, by there you should see the app launcher. It's the 3x3 square. Clicking on that and then selecting Q&A will then enable you to ask questions. And then again, our presenter will try to answer those at the end of today's session. A little bit more about Simplus. I figured we'd skip the marketing pre-made speech and just go with a couple quick highlighted points. We are a team of certified experts. We're 100% US-based support with a headquarters office in Salt Lake City, Utah, and a secondary office in Irvine, California. Really what differentiates us from just about anyone else is our team. Our average team member has at least 3 certifications. Each of our team members have completed at least 10 solo projects and have at least 4 years of experience. As you can see here, some of the certifications our team has along with our organization. Moving on, I'd love to introduce you to our presenter today, Ksenia. She has 4 years of Salesforce experience. She's worked as a Salesforce consultant and sales engineer. When she's not at work, she enjoys Irish dancing, learning foreign languages, spending time with her family. But if you want to take one thing away from ever working with her, it's that people love to work with her. There's just a couple reviews that people have left, both about our organization and for Ksenia directly. So we are on a quick timeline today. So without wasting any more time, I'd love to turn the time over to Ksenia. And again, she'll start explaining what Lightning is.
Thank you for such a warm introduction, Paul. So let's get right to it. We'll start with some definitions. What is Salesforce Classic and what is Salesforce Lightning? So Classic is this interface and the group of functionalities that come with it that we're used to in Salesforce. That's what we've been working with for years. Lightning is the new interface, and as Salesforce puts it, it's not just the UI, however. It is a new reimagined Salesforce, a tool for sales reps to maximize their productivity. And we'll dive into some of the features that come with Lightning only that enable us to do that. So first things first, we will get into an org, and I'll guide you through actually turning Lightning on in your Salesforce organization. So this is my developer org, my playground. You may have noticed in your org, ever since Winter 16 release, that you got this new item on the setup menu on the left, Lightning Experience. So when we click on that, it takes us to this page, and the largest portion of the page is taken up by this graphic and a link that suggests that we learn more about Lightning Experience. And when we click on that, it takes us to the Trailhead website, which is Salesforce's site that has an abundance of tutorials that guide us through various modules teaching us about all things Salesforce, including Lightning. So if you want to learn more, you can always go there and take a few tutorials. Then this next section here offers to enable several features that are available in Lightning, and we will enable them all, and then I will show you once we get into the org where they all are. So the first one is Account Insights. As a brief description, Account Insights is a feature that allows us to see basically a business-related news feed. And we can see it in two places in Salesforce. One is on the homepage and another one on account records themselves. And we will enable it here. The next one is social accounts, contacts, and leads. And that feature is available in Classic already. However, in Lightning, it gives us the capability to connect with Twitter only. And for those of you who are not familiar with this, this feature allows us to connect individuals and companies' social media profiles to their records in Salesforce. So we will enable this too, and then later I'll show you where we can see that. And the last one is Notes. Notes is a new feature in Lightning, and it gives us rich text capabilities. I do have it enabled in my dev org already, and when you are enabling it, if you decide to do so, you can click on this link, get more information, and then you can set up Notes. The next section says decide who can use Lightning Experience, and this is where we can set up permission sets that would allow us to give some of the users in our org access to Lightning Experience and hide it from others. So some of the use cases for that might be, for example, if you want to roll it out gradually, if you only want to show it to some of your users and have a group of testers to roll it out to at first. Or perhaps there are some users in your org who simply don't need access to Lightning Experience. And that way you can divide them into two groups, those who have access and those who don't. And finally, enable the new Salesforce experience. So we just click this button, continue to Lightning Experience. And once we have that enabled, we'll need to refresh the browser. And after that, in this menu, underneath your name, you'll have a new option, switch to Lightning Experience, which is what we're going to do right now. Voila, the beautiful new interface. I will start with the menus. They are somewhat different and take just a little getting used to. This vertical menu bar on the left, it could be said that it is an equivalent of the horizontal menu bar that we're used to seeing going across the top in Salesforce Classic. So here is where we see our homepage button, buttons for various standard objects, dashboards, reports, and so forth. As of the Winter 16 release, this bar is not customizable. So for now, for example, we cannot add custom objects to it. But there is a different way to access custom objects, and I'll show that a little later. And then we'll move on to this menu on the top right. This Rubik's Cube-like icon takes us to the app launcher. And this is where we can access our custom apps. I have a couple of those in my dev org, recruiting warehouse, and our standard apps as well, sales, call center, marketing. And this is where you can access your custom objects. So if you click on a custom app that has these custom objects, that's where you will be able to find them. The question mark is help and training. If you need to do more research, Salesforce in general or the Lightning Experience, this is where you can quickly access that. The gear icon takes us to this small submenu, and it gives us two options: Setup Home and Developer Console. Developer Console is the same as in Classic. It's just a space for developers to work in on Visualforce, Apex, Lightning components, and so forth. Setup Home, however, takes us to our setup menu, the menu that we're used to seeing on the left side in Salesforce. It is grouped somewhat differently. It is very intuitive. The main three sections are administration, platform tools, settings. And if you click on, for example, one of the subsections such as users, you can see these items that are pertinent to user management, such as permission sets or profiles, roles, user lists, and so forth. I'm not going to go through every item on this menu today. There is one, however, that I wanted to click into, and it hides underneath objects and fields, and it's called Object Manager. This is where you can find your objects and edit the metadata on the object. So as you can see, both custom and standard objects are found here. If you wanted to quickly find one on the page, you can start typing it in the search window, and it will show up. So going back to the menu here, the little bell is pending notifications. And then when you click on the icon with your profile picture, this is where you can get access to your personal settings, logging out, and this is where you would switch back to Salesforce Classic should you need to. Okay, now I would like to go through several items on the menu and see what's new, what's different in those. We'll start with Home. This prominent feature on the homepage is a quarterly performance widget. And it allows your sales reps to track their path towards the attainment of their sales goal. As you can see, this orange line here signifies closed opportunities. The green line is the goal, and then the blue shows closed opportunities as well as open opportunities where the probability is above 70%. So if we go to these points, we can see the sum on those opportunities. And each individual opportunity can be seen when we click onto these points. And then you can see that this one, for example, is for 100,000, but when we hover over it above, it shows 350. That's because it adds them up. Because again, it shows us how close we're getting to the goal attainment. Here, as an admin, I am seeing opportunities that are owned by everyone in the org. However, each individual rep will be seeing their opportunities only. This is where this goal will be set that will be reflected via the green line at the top. And it needs to be mentioned that this goal is actually independent of any information that's already been entered in Salesforce, such as sales quota. This is set independently right here on this widget. The assistant portion on the right shows us some outstanding items. As for example, we can see here, it says that this opportunity has not had any activity for 30 days or overdue tasks. When we scroll down, we get to account insights. And this is the feature that we turned on when we were enabling Lightning at the very, very beginning. And again, it's a business news feed, and it shows us news that are pertinent to accounts in our organization. As we scroll down here on the left, we're seeing some recent records that we've worked with, and then top deals, also a new feature on homepage, shows top opportunities for whoever is logged into Salesforce at that moment. Next, I would like to move to leads. We'll click into an individual lead, and we'll see that, again, the interface is completely different and new and very slick. So at the very top, this portion is called a highlights panel. And we can choose up to 10 fields to display on this panel from this record. Here on the highlight panel is where we have the menu that allows us to convert, edit, delete, and then clone or send email from there. Then this portion underneath is called a sales path, and it allows us to track where the lead is in the lead conversion process. Moreover, it allows us to set certain fields, the fields that we deem are important for the sales rep to see in this particular status of the lead. So for example, for working contacted, I have industry and lead source chosen as key fields. And then this customizable piece here allows us to give tips, hints, anything that we think will help the sales rep move this lead toward conversion. Again, this is something that you can set yourselves, and even images can be added to it. So anything that can be helpful, including encouragement, for example, any kind of text could go in there. Then in this section underneath, we can see 3 tabs. The first one is activity, and this is customizable as well. Out of the box, when you first turn Lightning on, the only option we have is email, but it can be customized on the page layout. Underneath past steps and next steps and past activity is basically an equivalent of open activities and activity history in Salesforce Classic. So on a different record, I will show you where I actually have something entered and it displays it as a timeline of sorts. This on the right, again, is the feature that we turned on when we enabled Lightning in the very beginning, and that is social leads, accounts, and contacts. Again, only Twitter is available in Lightning as of right now. Next object we will jump to is accounts. Account and contact layouts are very similar, so I will skip contacts and go to accounts. Again, at the top, we can see the highlights panel, the small menu here that allows us to edit, delete, submit for approval. The first thing we see is related lists. However, that is a difference from leads. So related lists are on this first tab in accounts. And as we're looking at it, I would like to also show the new notes feature. So we click into it, and here you can see how we have rich text capabilities for note editing. On the right, we have, well, actually, let's jump back here and I'll show you. This is where the detail page is. So all the fields that we decided, not to include in the highlights panel will be here in addition to those as well. On the right, activity tab shows activities that we can log. And just to quickly demonstrate where you can edit it, I am going to go to Setup, Objects and Fields, Object Manager, Account, Page Layouts, and then I will click into the appropriate layout, which is the account layout in this case. And as we scroll down, we'll see the section that's called Salesforce One and Lightning Experience Actions. We can choose fields right here under Salesforce Actions to drag into that section. Let's put a new task here as well, and then we'll save it. We will go back to accounts. We'll click on the account we were just working with. And here you can see the new features that we have just added. Collaborate tab is the chatter feed on that particular record. And also on activity, this is where you can see those sections that I talked about earlier, past activity, next steps. Again, shows it as a timeline, a graphical timeline. Next, we'll jump to opportunities. And opportunities is probably one of those objects that have had most modifications in Lightning Experience. We'll start with list views. So if we click on this list view, for example, you can see that on the right side here, we get an icon that says Show Charts. And when we click onto that, we are presented with charts that allow us to see some important information about our opportunities within that list view at a glance. We can choose from these three options: pipeline, by fiscal period, by stage, by account. We can edit the type of chart. The three options we get is vertical, horizontal bar chart, and a donut chart. And we can also create a new chart to display information that does not come out of the box. Additionally, if we have a list view that lists opportunities that are all within the same record type, we'll turn off the chart for now to get a little more real estate here on the screen. We can select between a grid and a board view. And when we click on the board, we can see what opportunities we have in what stage. And in fact, we can move opportunities from stage to stage by simply dragging and dropping. And when we do, the information on the opportunity recalculates, and then when we actually click into it, we can see that it's in that new stage. If you have any validation rules built around opportunity stages, they will be honored. So for example, in this dev org here, I have a rule that prevents me from moving opportunity to a previous stage. So if I take this one and drag it back, it shows an error message saying that opportunity stage can only be progressed forward. Now, let's go into a specific opportunity. Here, the layout is already somewhat familiar. The highlights panel at the top, and then we get the sales path here as well, and the same way we do with leads. Again, we can attach certain fields that we consider important for the salesperson to see as soon as they log in. So for example, here in negotiation review, I have key fields as amount, close date, and description. And then guidance for success. Again, some tips for the sales reps to help them move the opportunity forward. And you can set those again for every stage. And then you can also, when you move it to a different stage, you can just click this here and mark that stage as complete, and it will take it to that next stage. Underneath, again, activity, next steps, past activity, collaborate, which is a chatter feed, detail page, and the related list here on opportunities is on the right side. Wanted to briefly click into reports and dashboards. These have been redesigned as well. Also look very nice, very slick. A report and then a dashboard. Definitely very nice, modern looking interface. And now I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the features that are available in Lightning only, some features that are available in Classic only. And this brief introduction to this topic may help you decide whether or not this is something that your organization is ready for, whether or not this switch to Lightning is something you're ready for. So we'll start with some of the information that Salesforce has provided us with. And they've provided us with these charts or graphs, tables that show some of the features and where the discrepancies are. So starting with Salesforce data, we can see that, for example, features that are listed on the left, such as accounts, contacts, leads, opportunities, price book, products, cases, custom objects, all of those are available in Salesforce. But down here, it says other sales and service objects, and it lists them as unavailable. So what could those be? Some of the examples would be assets, campaigns and campaign members, contracts, forecasts, both collaborative and customizable forecasts, orders, quotes, person accounts, not yet available in Lightning. So if you're using any of those, then it may not be quite the right time yet to switch to Lightning. Then we'll move on to the home page. The first three items, performance chart, assistant, account insights, as I've shown, they're completely new and definitely not available in Classic. Then feed and publisher and customizable dashboards are not in Lightning yet, or as of winter 16. Items to approve will not show on your homepage. Calendar and events, while generally calendar and events are available in Lightning on the homepage, they cannot be seen right now. Top deals, again, new feature that's available in Lightning only. And customizable homepage components basically means that as of winter 16 release, homepage in Lightning cannot be customized. Calendar and events. So calendar has been modified to a degree. It also looks different and it looks newer. There are, however, as of right now, still quite a few limitations with how we can use calendar. For example, there's no calendar sharing. Managers can't edit their calendars of their reports. Events can have only one owner at a time. Your calendar doesn't indicate your business hours. There are no meeting invites or recurring events. That said, if there are recurring events that have been set in Classic, then in Lightning we can see them on the calendar. They will actually be displayed. Accounts and contacts. So accounts insights, as I showed you, again, it's the business feed that shows information pertinent to that specific account or something in your Salesforce org. Contact insights are still in beta. They will be available in future releases. Highlights panel, activity timeline, all of those are new features that are available in Lightning only. New files, that feature allows us to add files to a related list on records. Some of the other ones, quick view, that one allows us to see an information about a related record when we hover over it within a records page. Accounts and contacts hierarchy, not available in Lightning Experience as a Winter 16 release. Person accounts, as I mentioned earlier, account teams, opportunity teams, opportunity splits, adding similar opportunities, getting big deal alerts, and so forth. Moving on to leads. In Lightning, we cannot, as of right now, find and merge duplicate leads. We cannot change lead owner to a queue. There's no lead campaign history. We cannot assign leads to campaigns. Campaigns in general are not available in Lightning. Both opportunities and leads. Customizable highlights panel, sales path, creating related records and context, and that allows us to create a new related record within the master record page. Again, quick view via hovering, workspace template page layout, activity timeline. So I don't have time to go over all of the features that have been enabled in Lightning, that are available in Lightning only, or those that are available in Classic only. I would like to open it up to questions. So we'll see if we have any questions that have popped up. Okay, can you personalize the look and feel of the pages, like font, colors, etc.? As of right now, that is not possible. Are there any limitations to reports in Lightning? There definitely are quite a few limitations. So for example, right now you cannot schedule a report refreshes, you cannot print straight from a report. However, if you have a report open in your browser, you can just use your browser's print button to do the printing. You can not export reports in Lightning either. How long do we have to make the switch? So I would say that it really, first of all, you would need to analyze your org to see whether or not the features that you are currently using are available in Lightning. It is possible that the features that are available in Lightning only should only be used by a subset of users in your org. And in that case, again, you can turn them on for those users only via permission sets and allow others to continue using Classic. After that, after you've done the analysis, it really is just a click of a button to turn it on. And there is no harm in going back and forth. You can switch to, you can toggle between Classic and Lightning. If you really like Lightning, you like the way it looks, you prefer to work in it, but then you run into a feature that is available in Classic only, switch back to Classic, configure it there, and then you can go back to Lightning and continue using that. If you have more questions, we would love to answer them. We would like to offer a free Lightning review for anyone who is interested. So if you have additional questions, or if you want us to log into your Salesforce org, look through it, analyze it, see if you are ready for Lightning, then please feel free to give us a call, and we'd be happy to do that for you.
All right, everyone. That concludes our Lightning webinar. Again, I apologize, we had to cut some of it short just due to time constraints. If anyone is interested in that, again, the free system review of your instance, making sure you're ready for Lightning, or if you have any questions that we weren't able to answer today, or if you just like a copy of either the video, the webinar, or this PowerPoint, again, please feel free to contact us.